Peyton, welcome
Hello,
to Email
hello.
Love Live. Thank you so much for joining us.
So happy to be here. Be here with you talking about emails, my favorite thing.
Yes, and on Friday the 13th.
I did not
Have,
even realize that. What in
have
the world? I
you,
should have picked more spookier emails
I know,
then.
I was wondering, have you produced any Friday the 13th themed emails for today?
Not this year. It's a bit of a mess. I've done, well, at least not this month. I probably was a few this year if there's been a couple of the Friday the 13th, but I can't recall. But, not so, I can remember.
Depends on the brand, I think. I'm
Yeah,
going to look out for like Liquid Death. I'm expecting a funny email from them today. But
definitely up
yeah,
their alley.
I think we can get into Halloween soon anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So, just to kick things off, why don't you tell us who you are, what you do, what your company does? I think just a little intro for people that may not know you would be great.
Sounds good. Hey, everybody. My name is Peyton Fox. I am an email marketing specialist and I own an email marketing agency called Sparkbridge Digital. I have a YouTube channel where I post tons of email strategy insights, tutorials, design tutorials, and pretty much work with e commerce brands, helping them build some emails that stand out in the inbox. That's me.
Excellent. So, how long have you been doing Sparkbridge Digital, and how did you get into building an agency? Did you freelance first, or how did you get into that?
Yeah, so I've been kind of working in the email space going on like 8 years now, and originally was in house with a few e commerce companies, just designing and building directly with them. And I would say probably close to about 5 years ago, broke off and started doing freelance. So working one on one with different types of brands. And probably in actually I would say yeah 2020, now we're kind of getting into like COVID time. I was like, all right, let's do this, let's scale it up. And that's when started building a team, building an agency, around that time frame. Yeah, around COVID.
Got it. Got it. And we actually met on Upwork. Do you know that? Do you remember
Oh yeah,
that?
I remember. Yeah, there's some fun projects. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. Do you still work with clients on Upwork, or how do clients find you these days? Is it mainly through your YouTube channel or LinkedIn, or how does that work today?
You know what? Upwork really used to be that lead generation channel for me for new projects, long-term clients. I don't know if this is something you've seen on your end, but for me, it's kind of been very quiet, not really, maybe I wouldn't say good quality clients, but clients who are looking for that more hands-on, full management approach. They're kind of looking for more one and done projects. And I love working with brands that want to build a longer partnership. We're looking at long-term strategy, long-term builds, and a lot more emails usually. So they're not typically on Upwork nowadays. So YouTube has actually really been the main place where clients find me. They're searching like, hey, I want to figure out how to do XYZ in Klaviyo. I probably have a tutorial on it and they'll
Mhm.
find my video, then say,
Yeah.
hey, I like this gal. Let's reach out to their agency and talk some more.
Interesting. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I have also found that Upwork has gone dead for me. I think they've moved into like a pay to play type business model where
Definitely.
if you're not buying Upwork credits and you're not paying them to promote your profile, then you don't really get any leads from them. But
No, which is
um,
sad because I think maybe my profile is, I think, like top rated, expert vetted, like it has like top
same,
status, but
yeah,
nothing comes from it.
I know. It's like top 1%, but no leads for you. And
No.
what's funny is I have actually some of my like best clients I've had for like over 2 years, maybe 2 or 3 years now. Actually, did come from Upwork, so it can happen. I don't know if it's happening that much these days.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah, back in
definitely
the day, I was getting good clients.
I would say Upwork is the platform that would allowed me to kind of actually even like build a full-time, like really doing freelance, building that side of my business fully, like was all due to Upwork. So I definitely give them credit for sure. But
Hmm.
nowadays it just doesn't have the same pull that it used to have.
Were you freelancing when you were working full time and freelancing on Upwork on the
Yeah.
side?
Yeah, that was
to
kind of a
build like
small
a
thing.
portfolio, or
What was it?
to build a portfolio of like email designs and campaigns that you'd worked on?
Yes, yes. So it was kind of yeah, working full time and then after hours, weekends, like was hustling, working other projects. And then
Hmm.
once I was a very kind of scared freelancer. So I really didn't even leave my full-time job until I was like matching how much I was making freelance.
Mm.
So I was
Oh wow,
burnout
you were
mode.
like at max capacity at that point. You were.
Yeah. Like I looking back, I'm like, how did I even make that happen? Like it was in many, many nights up till like 3 a.m. working on stuff for
Oh my
clients. And I'm
god.
definitely that freelancer that'll be like, hey, you want something out in 6 hours? You bet, I'll make it happen. So yeah, sustainable it was not, but luckily was able to kind of focus on freelance full time at that point.
Yes, I've been there, and it's not fun. Do you
No.
still do that though, or do you set more like boundaries, or like you do you have some kind of like SLA where you're like, we need 2 days to get a campaign out, or anything like that?
I'm terrible. I am terrible at boundaries. So I'm still the same way. But now with our agency, I'll kind of have where I'll take the brunt of that. So say if we have a client that's like, I really need to get this out today. I'm like, all right, guys, don't worry about it. I'm going to handle
Hmm.
this, get it done, da, da, da. So I'm always putting that on me to do. But I just love my clients and making them happy. So I'm like, whatever you want, we'll make it happen within reason, but usually
Hmm.
I'll make it happen.
Got it. Got it. Good to know. I'll call you up when I need that Black Friday, Cyber
Hey.
Monday
Yeah.
campaign, last minute.
Oh man. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, okay, here's an interesting question. If you could collaborate or work on any with any brand or company, who would you choose to work with? Assuming
Ooh.
they're Klaviyo or whatever platform you prefer, but I know you're a Klaviyo person, so.
Definitely, yeah, definitely a biased on Klaviyo. You know what? I love Fishwife. I love their emails. I love their
Mm.
Instagram copy, their posts. It's tinned fish, the most unsexy thing ever, but they make it so much fun that I would love to be a part of that. Their emails are already pretty fabulous, but would love to be a part of that. Also, I mean, I'm a fan of any brand that doesn't mind being like hung in cheek with their copy, like Tushy, like any of those
Mhm.
brands. They're just like, let's stop them in their tracks and just have a headline that makes you go like, what did they just email me? That's my company. I want to work for them. I want to help manage their emails.
I noticed. I think it's your profile on LinkedIn. It says I worked with every kind of company from like e-commerce to adult diapers or something like this.
That is one of my long-term Upwork clients. I'm still with them. Yeah,
There you
adult diapers.
go. See,
Yep,
there are good ones on Upwork,
there are.
if you can find them. Yeah, that's it's funny. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
I'm not
that Tushy email you posted on email of I love that one. hadn't come across that brand before, so
oh man,
I
they're
think they're
fabulous.
doing some great stuff.
Great copy. I feel like email design's one piece, but the
Hmm.
copy really has to kind of grab that attention, and they just do that amazingly.
What do you think's What do you think's more important? If you could have like awesome copy or an awesome design, but you can't have both, what are you picking?
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with design first, just because like to have that you open your inbox moment. If I was to imagine it was just kind of a more plain, kind of put together, slap
Hmm.
together type email, like maybe the copy I just did like I just move away instantly. But if I had that really eye-catching graphic at the top or like it was structured in some way, maybe the copy's boring, but it'll hold my attention a bit longer. I think I
Hmm.
might go design first, copy second. But copy's
Yeah.
still really important.
Yes, I totally agree. I think it maybe depends on like the type of company emailing.
Definitely.
Like e-commerce, I agree with you. Design is super important.
Yeah.
Newsletters, maybe it's not. It's less design. It's more
Exactly.
content and
Yeah.
copy. Right?
Yep.
Okay, moving on to the next topic. I'm interested in AI. How are you using it? What's your favorite LLM? Are you guys doing anything innovative with AI in the agency to like optimize like workflows or processes or?
Yeah, so here are a few of my favorite. Have you tried Flare AI?
I've not heard of that one.
Okay, so it's So if you get a client and you are just struggling with like all you have is a product and a white background and you're like, I need to like I gotta have something like this is just like too plain. Flare, you can throw the product in and basically it'll kind of AI it into different studio looking shots. So you at least have something to work with. It could put it on a pedestal with like a cool gradient background. Um, I use that a lot for clients. I have, some clients work with us and they're just getting started in their like website, everything, just trying to build from the ground up. And that's a great resource. I'm definitely a Midjourney girly. I love using Midjourney. So let's say there's like, a client in, I don't know, skincare. And we want kind of a really aesthetic, like droplet look or something, or like a really zoomed in feature of an ingredient that they just do not have a photo of. Like doing Midjourney prompts for that is really good. And I mean,
Can you
classically,
get it looking like it's not AI generated, or does
oh
it
yeah,
kind of look AI generated? Because I haven't been able to get it to not look like it's generated with AI. I know you can. I just,
oh yeah,
you know what I
no,
mean?
I totally agree. There's it takes refining, like a lot of refining sometimes. But I feel like Midjourney, with some of the recent updates that they've done, you can like literally just type in, like hyper realistic, like very like you can just put in those certain keywords and it looks a very like legitimate zoomed in piece. Of course, not like faking actual pieces of the brand, but just those aesthetic little elements that you want. It's great for that. Yeah, I would go back to it. If you haven't been back to it in a while, their new updates have been like amazing.
I probably need to figure out my prompts and improve that.
Which is so funny because I mean, if you look online, there's some people who just package and sell like, here you want prompts to do this, spend
Yeah, I know.
$17,
Like, here's my
monetize
prompt
everything.
course.
Yes, exactly.
Got it. Was there anything else? Any other AI tools that you're?
The only other one classically, like I use every single day, would be the generative fill from Photoshop. So if we have like just this morning, we have this one brand, it's like a sock brand, and it's a really awesome studio shot, but I need to fit text in like right underneath the feet, but like it ends too soon. So with generative fill, you can just expand it. It'll kind of fill in that studio background, that blue or whatever shade you have, and just kind of make it a bit longer. So that way you can fit text in there if you wanted to, or just so it can kind of more aesthetically fit into your emails. I use that every day. Generative fill with Photoshop is amazing.
Okay, I have to try that. I haven't had a go at that. I'm not a Photoshop expert, so I find it tricky sometimes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That does sound really useful.
Oh yeah, I highly recommend. And I would say that's actually probably one of the few things I still use Photoshop for. It's really just that.
Yeah, you're like, I just need a spot where I can put some text. It's
Exactly.
like the bane of my life sometimes. I just need
If only this image was a little bit longer, and that's what it'll do.
Exactly. Okay, it's a good tip. How many? So I'm interested. Moving on to the next topic. I'm interested in kind of how you stay motivated and avoid burnout. And I think you have a team now. I know you hired Sarah Peterson. Shout out to Sarah. Hi, Sarah. Hope you're listening. Like, how do you, I guess, keep work-life balance when you're managing multiple people and clients? How does that work for you?
Yeah, I hate to get into like astrology type thing, but I'm a Capricorn A type personality. So like working really fills me with energy, like waking up every day. Like, I start working at like 6:30, maybe I stop at like 6 p.m. So I kind of go a little bit longer in my days, but like being able to slack over to a client like this A/B test we just ran did XYZ, and like the clients I love to work with are ones who match very similar in my like personality, so they're coming back with like, yay, I'm so excited, da, 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 da. Like that fills me with like I could keep working and extra hours, but just having that type of feedback from clients and ones that don't completely drain you of your existence, just make you stressed, like those are no good. So I think that's a big part of it, being selective with clients, and that builds like an atmosphere that makes me really excited to work with them every day.
Got it. It's it makes a lot of sense. I think I'm very, very similar. Doing good work definitely energizes me, and my wife is like, "Why did you have a meeting at 6 a.m. the other day?" And Sometimes I try to have early meetings because before my kids wake up, but then they always wake up before and
Cool.
join me in my early morning meetings. So.
Oh man, yeah. Hats off to you. I currently do not have kids, but would like to in the future. But I'm just trying to think of how to manage everything, and I'm like, oh, with kids, I can imagine it.
It's you have to work a little bit less. You
Yeah,
cannot do this. You cannot do 6 to 6. Like
yeah.
you'll be doing school runs. You'll be making lunches. You'll be
Oh yeah.
dealing with crying kids. This morning, my 3-year-old did not want to go to daycare. Had to cancel a call with Simon Harper. Sorry, Simon, if you listen to this. Hopefully, we can catch up again. But
No.
yeah, it's
Yeah, kids come first, of
but
course.
it's fun. But yeah, definitely it puts things in perspective. They'll come first before your business and your work. But um, yeah, obviously, work still needs to support all the expenses that come with kids. So it goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
Okay, last question before we get to your emails. How did you choose these emails? Like, was there any criteria? Are these emails some emails that you've worked on personally or with your team?
There's a few. I think there's an Apotheke email in there, which Apotheke is a longtime client of mine. I adore them. So I'm partial to our emails. I really like the vibe of them. But
Mm-hmm.
a lot of these brands are ones that I always usually go back to in some ways if I'm looking for template inspiration, besides stopping at emaillove.com first, checking through my
Thank you.
inbox and looking. They're kind of ones that always catch my eye again and again and again. So yeah, they're ones I've always kind of bookmarked or I'm checking. A couple of them are ones that have caught me from the subject line first, and then kind of getting into
Mm-hmm.
the design kind of matched really well together. And I really liked the actual structure of the email. But all around, the ones that I selected all kind of cover, I think, different approaches you can do to email in a certain strategic way. They're not all kind of that same big designed look. Some of them are a bit more simplistic, but still are super effective. So yeah, I like them all for very different reasons. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think your comment on the subject line is interesting because I look at a lot of emails and I think I kind of choose based on the subject line what I open. Like if it's
Mhm.
like a boring like 20% off discount subject line, I'm less likely to open it personally.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen and we will let me know if you can see this. Hopefully you can.
I can, yes.
Okay, so this is Peyton. For everyone watching, this is Peyton's curated guest curator gallery on Email Love. So you can find that in the guest section here. We have a little bit about Peyton. You can check out her website, follow her on LinkedIn. And these are some of the emails that she curated for us. So let's start off with Apothic. I didn't realize you did this. This is really beautiful design. I really love their brand.
Thank you. Yeah, this one in particular, I kind of have different strategies with email. Like in particular, I usually like to have a button above the fold, but with this
Mm-hmm.
particular one, it's just we want to just lead with the aesthetic. Like most
Mm-hmm.
of their customers in general are very kind of just attracted to the look and the aesthetic and the overall like vibe of their candles. So
Mm-hmm.
in this one, kind of leading with a really aesthetic image. I think going with the clever copy piece, bitter is just better. I love an alliteration of being like
Mm-hmm.
bees and bees. So that's always like a trope that I always fall into. But trying to be descriptive without overwhelming. So with the different notes section there, like how can we visually tell it without just kind of giving them, 3 paragraphs on,
Mm-hmm.
7 notes of a candle. But yeah,
I like this design pattern here with like the circle images and then like the line connecting them. I think
thank
that's
you.
really nice. Out of interest, how do you design this? Is this in Figma? Do you do this in Photoshop?
I do it all in Figma. Pretty much, I would say like 95% of our client work is all done through Figma. So yeah.
Got it. Got it. You know we have a Figma plugin,
Oh, 100%. I'm a big fan.
No, I know you do because I made you use it. I also am a fan of the footer. I like this is like super clean, like in terms of just like links. It's
Mhm.
really nice layout.
Yeah, we've A/B tested with them kind of more descriptive footers where maybe we had different like image sections and just found like just kind of overall just kind of clutters everything. It really doesn't drive that much more click-through rate on this menu at the bottom. So keeping it more simplistic, it just doesn't kind of clutter everything. It's not more assets that need to load in than it would be with having everything broken out. So yeah, with that one, it works really well for them.
Do you find people click on these links? Like, is there a lot of
Minimal.
people? Is like only a few? Like, I get
Yeah.
to the bottom and I'm like, oh, I just want to subscribe to a box, or
Exactly. It's minimal. I kind of find that across the board. Like it's, super small group, but so for the most part, I feel like if you're a brand trying to optimize that section, you really don't need to overthink it too much.
yeah, yeah,
It's simple.
yeah. Don't overthink the footer. I think you do see some really complex footers sometimes, and it's like,
Mhm.
how many people are clicking on that?
No, not
Interesting.
enough to warrant all that effort.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to this Stumptown email is interesting. So this is a
Yes.
quiz email.
I love a quiz email. So if I work with a client that has a quiz element, it's that type of email that I like to get out,
Mm-hmm.
monthly, bi-monthly, if that. So with their particular one, I just thought it overall, it's not a super complicated design. Like Stumptown in general, I notice a lot of their emails are pretty simplistic, but I liked having the scent notes or whatever you would call those coffee bean notes there at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
But I just love a quiz. So a quiz email that's doing it in maybe slightly different way with them. They like to kind of have some imaginative imagery that they have in
Mm-hmm.
their pushes. So it's very them, but it's a great go-to email that a lot of brands, if you have a quiz, should be pushing out.
Yeah, no, I really like the design. They've used HTML text here. This is
Yep.
obviously an image, and this is an image, but they're using some best practices here by merging in HTML, which I think is nice. I like this animation, and then the footer, very similar to the last footer we looked
Yeah,
at.
actually, I didn't even notice that. See, yeah, keep it simple.
Yeah. Okay. I actually let's look at Going. I really like their emails as well.
I love
So
their
this is definitely
email.
like a longer like newsletter, I guess, or it's um, yeah, it's quite a
Mhm.
long one, but like it's all like text based. It's like the design patterns are really nice.
Yeah, I
Um,
love the color blocking, so I'm a sucker for some color blocks if we're able to kind of
mhm,
break it up this way. They have a great way to deliver information, like, with this one in particular, it was dynamic, so it was serving up, like, past searches that I've done with them, um, but oh,
like this is based like this stuff
actually,
here.
let me see. Yeah, so the Orlando, Florida airport is mine. So,
Hmm.
it was serving up dynamic, connections, so, like, where I could
Mm,
fly out or come back to. So they do a great
got
job
it.
with dynamic data.
Got it. That makes sense. Uh, yeah, the other thing I was gonna say. Oh, how does this look on mobile? Yeah, I think they do a good job of like optimizing it for mobile. Like it's quite a
Oh, yeah.
long, like there's some complex stuff in here, but it still looks really good on mobile. Like even
Mhm.
this section here, and they even have some hover effects. So if you hover over the buttons, it turns a different color,
Yep.
which is nice. And then all of this like stacks and looks great on mobile. Maybe even better in some cases than on desktop.
Mhm.
And then yeah, the footer again, pretty simple here. They're not trying to overthink that. Very cool. Okay, let's go to Orbits.
Allbirds. So this one, I think in general, Allbirds emails are pretty clean in structure. I love the GIF. I mean, if I can have movement in an email, I'm trying to do it. And I love this approach of having just kind of the sneaker coming in through the side. It's not too complicated. It's not trying to put a whole bunch of movement in that GIF. It's just swapping through the different shoes, which I thought is great. But they have such a clean template. I love their aesthetic in email. It works so good.
This section's really nice. I love the just like the border that separates the
Hmm.
shoes. Yeah, it's super clean design. My only criticism would be this CO2. I think this is like a trying to say how much CO2 they use to like make the
Oh,
shoe.
yeah.
Maybe I think that's super small, and I'm not entirely sure what that
Mhm.
means. That'll be my only criticism.
Yeah.
Um, I think that's what they're talking about. It's like a low carbon footprint shoe.
Mhm.
But yeah, super small text. I think for especially like on mobile might be hard to
Yeah,
read.
I can imagine that one's probably actually gonna be pretty small if it's a part of the GIF as well.
Right. Okay, let's move on to one brand I hadn't come across, Revival. I thought this was a super cool design, and this brand is actually really interesting. And I also love the content of this email.
Oh, yeah, yeah, what I really liked about this one is super simple. I mean, this is like, what, 4 sections altogether, that feature, headline, intro, and then the sample piece.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was super effective with having that imagery of the different cutouts, the different swatches, and they make like the process of just seeing how it all works, how to pick out your swatches, get it delivered, have that fuel your next purchase. Super cool, and actually a really cool program. I was like, okay, wait, I'm actually obsessed with this. But I love the structure of this one. I think they do a great job of just educating, but I don't know, in a clean way.
I think this is a really good section. Just like
Hmm.
for new subscribers, they're like, "Oh, I didn't realize you did runners or outdoor rugs," or uh, and then there's some nice animation here. Yeah, this design is super nice. Huge button.
Yes, giant button.
Can a button be too big?
You know what? I haven't tested it to see what that fatigue level is on button size, but I'm sure there is a cutoff. But
It's
this one,
probably
I would say it's getting big enough, I think, for them.
yeah. There's probably diminishing returns if you make it any bigger.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I like this. This foot is quite nice. I am a sucker for nice icons
Yes.
at the bottom of an email. I don't know. I just like it. It just enhances how it looks, and
Mhm.
um, I think this one works quite well. Do you think this
I
was
like
like a triggered email, by the way? Like, was this like automated?
this one, no. This one just came in through, an inbox push. So, I didn't trigger
Okay.
any of the I wasn't recently on site or anything or abandoned.
Oh,
So
okay. Okay.
but I believe
I
with them,
thought-
I've never made a purchase, so I feel like I probably was segmented in through maybe, like, somewhat engaged, but still haven't moved forward. Let's send them this, try before
Mhm.
by email.
Got it. Got it. Makes sense. Okay, let's look at one more, and then we will wrap things up.
Sounds good.
I'll let you choose which. Maybe the Tushy one, since we spoke about it
Yeah, it's
before.
so good.
This is a quite an interesting product. This is a
Yeah.
real product, right? This isn't like a April Fool's. This is a
No,
product.
this is a real product. So what's interesting about them, and I feel like there are other brands that fall into this, right? Tushy in particular is a bidet, but it's kind of a
Mhm.
one-time purchase. I purchase it, and then like,
Mm.
what's the like cycle of that customer?
Is no like Tushy accessories that you're like, I need that to go with my bidet.
Not really. I think they have like maybe a toilet paper holder, but that doesn't make any
Right.
sense. Like they have like this like rag thing you can buy. It's like they have stuff like that, but this is kind of more of their accessory type pushes.
Hmm.
So their base, people who are subscribed to them and have bought are very particular about, trying to have a bidet experience when they're not home. And that's where this is. But also it's like they like to poke fun at it, like, like it says half-assed hygiene. Like they are not afraid to like be tongue in cheek. So if you're ever looking for a laugh, definitely just subscribe to their emails. It's great.
Yeah, no, I really love this one. I also was wondering, this looks like it's maybe personalized. I mean, it's personalized with your name, but maybe this is dynamic as well. Like
I
if you,
thought so too. Yeah, where like I'm not currently in that loyalty program,
yeah,
so
like if
showing
you
this.
were in the loyalty program, I bet this disappears,
Mhm.
um, which is interesting. Yeah, the nice design as well, like super clean. I love these sections here with rounded corners, and it's very easy to read. Pretty interesting imagery,
Yes.
and a super simple footer with some not social proof, but
Those press
press, yeah,
features.
some press proof
Yeah.
is what I'll call that.
What I think is good about
Uh,
this one too is like, a couple of these email features are, like you said, kind of long. This one is really like 2 sections. Like, maybe there's some brands out there that maybe try to fit in too much. Like, okay, now at the bottom, let's put in actual bidets in case they need another one. It's like, all right, let's just keep it, let's hone it in, keep it focused.
Yeah, yeah, it's not too long. I definitely fall into the trap of posting emails that are longer just because they're more interesting in terms
Mhm.
of looking at emails. But I think this works really well. Okay, well, I think time is up. Thank you so much for joining us, Peyton. I really appreciated it. I think you had some awesome insights, and I hope that we can chat again soon.
Of course, yeah. Reach out if you ever need me. And guys, make sure to check out my YouTube channel for tutorials on
What's
design.
your YouTube channel called?
Oh my god, it's so funny that you just said that, and I'm drawing a blank. I think it literally is my name, Peyton Fox. I'm pretty sure. I think it says Peyton Fox, email marketing expert. I think that's technically my full
Excellent.
channel
So
name.
just search Peyton Fox, email marketing expert. There is a Peyton Fox who's a football player, just so you know.
Yeah.
That's not who we're talking to right now. This is
No.
Peyton Fox, the email expert.
Yes.
Again, thank you, Peyton, and thanks everyone for joining us.